Are you excited? I'm excited. Gonna play some Space Engineers. I'm Kay. Last time we left off, our car's base was accidentally removed from the server. We basically, we had the help of an admin to respawn some of our ingots and things. Went ahead and brought everything up here, including the atmospheric ship. We may go ahead and modify that to work in space. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to build basically a mothership. As I've said, I love my reactor rooms. So I'm going to actually start building the reactor room first and then build the entire ship around it. We are probably going to need to get a refinery and assembler up pretty quick because I'm sure I'm going to run out of steel plates and construction components, so we need a way to be able to make some more and refine iron in order to get some more. Alright, so with that said, let's begin. Alright, so let's just go ahead and build. We're going to attach to the asteroid so that it doesn't go ahead and start wobbling and move, and that will be a nightmare. And we had when we were building this, we had to use the one ship to block it and kind of wedge it in there so it wouldn't move. I will be cannibalizing this as it goes by. Right now, we're just holding it to, or we're just using it to hold all the ships as well as the med bay. Originally, we were going to use it as a jump ship and keep the car's base as our main base, but current events changed the course that we were going to take. So this may be all to the battle, because as of not planet engineers, it's space engineers. And we're back. As you can see, I've got a good amount done. Started filling in some of the blocks at the beginning, but then I decided to just go ahead and wireframe the entire structure. I am trying to get one of these refineries online, and then I'll go ahead and get an assembler online. We're completely out of computers and a couple other parts. And right now, we have absolutely no way to have power on the base. So I may have to throw a small reactor on here just for the time being. Had to redesign this little hole a couple times, but I'm fairly happy with the design this time. Basically, we have a rotor right here. Going to rotate our reactor quite slow, but it's going to rotate it. We have a arm here. I may throw another arm on the other side. That's attached to another rotor, and that will rotate quite fast around the reactor. And with some lighting effects, that should give us a pretty decent, ambience when it comes to our reactor room. We right now have 3 batteries, though I definitely want, and I'll definitely need a lot more than that for emergency power. With all that said and done, I believe this is going to turn out to be a nice little, nice little ship. Still haven't figured out the actual shape of the ship. I know the reactor room is going to be larger than probably some portions of the ship. I don't know if the sides right here are going to be extended out or if I won't bring them in a little bit. So our main focus now is to get a refinery and assembler going, get power so we can actually power those so that we can finish the rest of the structure. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish up. And we'll pick up in a second. And we're back. As you can see, this is what I've came up with so far. The level here, I may go ahead and move down some. Basically just move everything on the ship a couple blocks a little lower. But I've decided to do this style. Basically, reactor rotates one direction at a slower pace. Then I have these arms come up to give a nice little effect. Played around with some light combinations, but I think the blue looks the best. And when the reactor is turned off, so does everything else. I started making the outline. Everything seems to be going pretty good. I am getting ready to start running out of certain materials, but now that we have a refinery up and an assembler up, that shouldn't be that big of an issue as of right this second. I do need to go ahead and build this assembler also because I want to make this a co-op. And it's kind of irritating going into the menu to build something, and I have to select assembler number 2 from the drop box. I've queued up some materials, walked away, and they haven't gotten built because I put them in assembler number 1 by accident. I do want to get that up and running as soon as possible. Not exactly sure how many batteries to use, but we'll figure that out. I do have the sorter blocks finished and ready to go. They're programmed. Basically all uranium pours into this cargo container only. And then when I want to, there's another sorter block that will allow it to go into here. So I can kind of stockpile uranium in this cargo container without having to worry about it going into the reactor. Alright, well, I'm going to continue laying out the framework. Still not exactly sure about the shape. But we'll figure out that when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alright, so I'm going to finish up and bring you back in a little bit. So it's starting to come along. I've actually started framing out the actual exterior of the reactor room. Still not exactly sure how I want to do the rest of the ship shape. I'm not really liking this. Going ahead and on the other side I've lowered the actual floor plates. So our little hallway here, not going to be spectacular, but should be on the same level as the refineries. When we get to the hangar, it'll probably drop down a little bit, maybe stay at the same site. But then for the bridge, definitely going to go up. I'm thinking about placing the bridge towards the middle of the ship, but I'm not 100% sure. Once again, I should probably make a small little mock-up out of small ship blocks just for the exterior to know what shape I actually am interested in. But I just wanted to bring you in, show you what I've done so far. Alright. I'm off to it then. Alright. So, I've moved some stuff around. Started building the conveyor system. I do have all the conveyors piped in. I built the bottom, gotta build the top. Started outlining the hallways. It's starting to take a little bit of shape. Still gotta fix this side. I keep having to move this this anchor on this asteroid. Moved it like 5 times now. Hopefully this time I won't need to move it anymore. As you can see, I've got some sorters. That would be the input. Got some sorters up here when they're built. That will be the output. So we're going to pipe in all the resources to the refinery and resources to the assembler. And then drain out all the ingots and build components. Still trying to figure out which way is the front of the ship. I'm thinking about making this area here where the hangar is. And then placing the hangar in the back of the ship, and then place right here maybe the bridge. Trying to figure out if I want to do a slope down, kind of like a triangle, to the middle part, and then have like a little, like maybe like 4x4, or well, I guess it would be 5x5 space in the center. That would be a 3x3 cockpit. And then as for the hangar goes, not sure if I want to have just a like a doorway in the back of the ship for everything to park, or if I want to do multiple doorways on the top and sides. If I keep this design, I'm going to have it at the sides. But if I change this, you know, change the triangle shape, or the diamond shape, not triangle, change the diamond shape to more of a squarish or an ovalish shape back here, then we can do a little bit more. So I've been building as I go. I want to keep the amount of unfinished blocks down, just to help. I'm not sure if it's actually going to help, but to help with server speed. Because with everybody on the server right now, as well as everybody, all the ships that are being built, server speed is starting to become an issue. Alright, well, I'll bring you back in when I finish some more. Alright. We had a slight server rollback. So I did lose some of my design. Nothing too fancy. I just started building where the bridge would be. As you can see, I did finish the 2 jump drives, and they've been charging. I've been fiddling around for quite a while, getting the lights in here, as well as adding on and getting the lights around the reactor and everything working pretty good. As you can see, I've put on the LCD as well as the script that shows everything. Love that script. So I'm quite pleased with my my little reactor design. I am interested to see how much can be seen from outside. When all the glass is built and stuff, I want to be able to see the reactor and the spinning lights from the exterior. So once those are once the glass is complete, I'll be able to actually figure out if I need to modify the distance or maybe the color, or maybe even place a couple extra lights in different positions to make sure that they do shine outside the ship. But it is coming along. One of the things I did lose on my rollback was pretty much everything. I had built all of this also up here also, and I did lose a good amount of resources because I think it rolled back when I would have probably had all the resources to build majority of this. Ooh, my oxygen's low. There it goes. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this up. The design I had came up with was this. And unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure where I had it spaced out. But basically, you know, it came up to about a point, and I believe it's second block. So I think this is the dead center of the ship right here. Yeah. So basically that came out. I had not enclosed this, but I was trying to figure out how to make this where basically, you know, the entire ship came to a point right here. I was going to extend these out, even though the ship goes to a point. The two exterior parts for the hallways still came out, so the bridge would be semi-detached from the rest of the ship. I also believed I was also thinking about taking this to where it angled going out like this and brought it back into the bridge. And then the exterior would be all the thrusters and stuff. For the rear, for the hangar, it's going to kind of flare out and become more of a ovalish design. I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to make this diamond into the oval, but I'll figure it out. Alright, so that's what my thoughts are, where I am. Be back in a little bit. Alright. So, I've been trying to figure out, once again, how I want the bridge. I've changed multiple designs. As you can see, I've started filling in a lot of blocks. I have modified the welder / grinder, where it does operate in the, you know, in space, as well as I mined a heck of a lot of ice, so we shouldn't have to worry about oxygen and hydrogen for a while. I did mine a little bit of iron also, but without any connectors and stuff, I got tired of flying back and forth between the two ships. So we still have some unrefined iron inside there. But as you can see, the ship is starting to take shape. I'm starting to have second thoughts about the whole design. To me, it's starting to look a little too plain, too bland. I might try to figure out ways to spice it up. I was gonna do a pretty circular, maybe more of a teardrop bridge, but I think that will be too large for the type of ship that we're gonna have. So I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out a way to shrink that down and minimize it, and with these two hallways on the sides, try to figure out how I can incorporate that, the design itself. But it's definitely taking shape. It's definitely coming along. Well, with all that said, I think we're gonna cut the episode off right here and pick back up on another day. If I can get to this hallway. There you go. All right, well, have fun. See you next time.